Khair Kanbaki, and welcome everyone. The greeting you just heard was not quite in Arabic, even though it sounds somewhat like Sabah al Khair, which means good morning in Arabic. In fact, Khair Kanbaki means hello in the Udi language. And what is Udi? It is the language that's believed to be the closest modern descendant of Caucasian Albanian. Well, that's debatable, given that the kingdom was a union of 26 tribes, all of which had their own related but distinct languages. In case you are wondering whether the modern state of Albania is in any way related to the Albania of the Caucasus, the answer to this question is definitely no. There are even no absurd theories that would connect these two Albanias. The one we are discussing today is a historical state that once existed in what is now Azerbaijan and Dagestan. Why Albania, though? Is it similar to how there are two Georgias? Exactly. In fact, Albania is an even more popular toponym. What I mean by that is that at least these 5 places have had this name over the course of history. It is only the Caucasian one, however, that used to have its own non-Latin writing system. Or is it? Well, maybe in the future episodes we will discuss Oham that was once used by the ancient inhabitants of the British Isles in Vithkuki, which was one of the attempts of creating a unique national script for Albanian. Let me know in the comments if that sounds interesting to you. Okay, enough about the other Albanias. Today's topic is this amazing writing system. The first thought that might come to mind is, wow, that's a lot of letters. Well, what if I told you that the modern English alphabet has exactly as many? There's a catch, of course, being that there are exactly as many Caucasian Albanian letters as there are modern English letters, including not only the lowercase ones, but also the capital ones. If after looking at this writing system, you thought to yourself, can it get even bigger than that? Well, of course it can. It just depends on the type of a given writing system. Obviously, logographic systems, like Chinese or ancient Sumerian, have many thousands of symbols. However, none of them are letters. Each symbol is basically a separate word, so it's not surprising that there are thousands of those. What if somebody created a fictional language and an enormously huge alphabet for it? Of course, that's possible, but subjectively completely uninteresting. So, what is the largest alphabet in terms of real languages? Well, Abhagitas are rather big. Like the Tamil script, used in South Asia, Ges, used in Ethiopia and Eritrea, or the Khmer script, used in Cambodia. These writing systems are completely different and function in very different ways. However, all of them are Abhagitas and cannot be considered alphabets, at least strictly speaking. Let's take a closer look at Khmer, as it is most commonly referred to as the largest alphabet. As you can see, in Khmer, every consonantal glyph actually represents a syllable, either with an A or with an O after the consonant itself, and to make a purely consonantal sound without any vowel after it, one has to use a special diacritic sign. Alright, I think I proved to you that systems like Khmer are not really alphabets, even though Khmer itself is an amazing writing system, and once there will definitely be an episode about it. What is the largest alphabet then? Well, in a way, Hangul can be considered as such because it has 11,172 possible glyphs. But that's cheating because all of those would essentially be different combinations of only these 24 letters. What is the system of strictly alphabetical type with the largest number of individual letters? Looks like it has to be the Abkhaz alphabet. But which one? Well, there were several versions of it, based either on Georgian, Cyrillic, or the Latin scripts. At its largest extent, it consisted of an astonishing number of 76 letters. I don't think anything could beat that, right? Well, if we take a closer look, this alphabet is also cheating in a way, because most letters are just diacritical variants of basic Latin graphemes. So, let's add another rule for this competition. The alphabet should have all of its graphemes unique and not just modified variants of other letters of the same system. In this case, the winner is the Caucasian Albanian script. Finally, we came back to the topic of this video. I think we've discussed sizes and lengths for long enough. Let's now discuss something else instead. How about phonetics? Caucasian Albanian as well as its modern descendants, like Udi and Lezgin, have a rather unique and wide range of phonemes. As was discussed in the previous video about the Georgian alphabet, all three, the ancient Georgians, ancient Armenians, and ancient Caucasian Albanians, have had writing systems that look really similar. This time, however, let's discuss the differences between the three. So first of all, this time, let's split all of these 128 letters into three main groups. The black color will stand for letters, which represent rather simple sounds that are commonly used in English and other Indo-European languages. And why did I assume that they are simple? Well, this video is in English, so I suppose that y'all know at least one or two Indo-European languages. Anyway, in green we have the letters which make ejective sounds like and blue letters make aspirated sounds. As you can see, these are not present in the Caucasian Albanian alphabet, and they are unique to Armenian and, in some extent, Georgian. Actually, English also uses aspirated consonants, however they are not distinguished from their normal counterparts when written. So let's not overcomplicate the video even further. Anyway, last but certainly not least, we have the red letters, which represent sounds that are completely absent in both Armenian and Georgian. These 13 letters make sounds that are unique to various Caucasian languages like Avar, Lezgin, and Chechen. And I think that was enough about phonetics. As was promised in the previous video, let's now take a look at the Georgian letter names and compare them to the names of Armenian and Caucasian Albanian letters. All of these are astonishingly different. Most of these letters have completely unique names, which are not clearly connected to corresponding Semitic or Greek names. Here, the letters whose names are obviously similar to their Phoenician ancestors are highlighted in green. Surprisingly, only a few Georgian and Armenian letters are highlighted. However, around a quarter of the Albanian letters are clearly named after their Greek or Phoenician ancestors, which is another strange feature of this mysterious writing system. I feel like this video was the most complicated and obscure so far. So, for the sake of diversity, the next one will be about the Japanese scripts, kanji, hiragana, and katakana. By the way, also make sure to check out Alphabetical Dice on Cults 3D. The dice there are unique and beautiful. Also, many of them are available for free. Bye.